Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners. It is called to order. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners was provided in the following manner. Published in the Press of Atlantic City and mailed to the Current, the Daily Journal, the Hamilton Gazette, and the Hamilton News, and has been posted on the bulletin boards in the county office building in Atlantic City, the Stillwater building in Northfield, and the county clerk's office in Mays Landing. And I just want to say before the opening prayer, as we approach the 20th anniversary of 9/11 this coming weekend, I ask that we keep all of our nation's heroes who have lost their lives defending our nation and at the hands of terrorists in our thoughts, including the brave 13 servicemen and women in Afghanistan. I'd also ask that we keep the victims, those recovering from the devastating impact of Ida on our nation, in our prayers as well. Today, over 67 people have lost their lives there. Almighty God, we ask Thee to grant us the wisdom to walk in Thy light and the courage to accept the responsibilities placed upon us. Amen.
Amen.
We all stand and salute the flag. Attention, salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and we'll have a roll call.
Madam Chairwoman, Commissioner Corsi is in Trenton. He will try to attend virtually if he can, and Commissioner Risley will be late.
Thank you.
Ballas?
Here.
Bertino?
Here.
Days?
Here.
Fitzpatrick?
Here.
Gatto?
Here.
And Kern.
Here. Commissioners have had an opportunity to review the minutes from July 20th, 2021, and I'll entertain a motion to adopt the July 2021 minutes as presented.
Motion. Second.
Okay. Motion's been made in second. We'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes. Motion carries. Okay, anyone that would like to speak during public comments, please come to the podium, state your name and the town that you reside. If you're attending virtually, please type yes and the resolution number in the question and answer box. Any items not listed on the agenda, you may speak during public comments. You'll be raised from an attendee to a panelist. When you're raised, please again state your name and the town you reside. Okay, and we're going to go right into commending Galloway Township and Ambulance Squad in their effort to support the fight against COVID-19, Resolution 428.
Atlantic County Board of Commissioners resolution commending Galloway Township Ambulance Squad in their effort to support the fight against COVID-19.
Motion.
Second.
Motion's been made in second. Any comments from the commissioners?
Yeah, Chairman. Before I ask the members of the squad and Chief Fuel to come up, I just want to say a couple of things. I do think it's important that we recognize not just the ambulance squad that's here today, but all of our first responders from the dispatch, EMT, of course, fire, police. Every day, we expect them to be there when we call. But the last, year and a half, almost 2 years, has been extremely challenging for all of them, and they continue to answer the call. So I just want to say that, and then we're going to additionally recognize the Galloway Ambulance Squad for their efforts to help us fight this pandemic here, not only in Atlantic County, but also in the state of New Jersey.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments from our commissioners? Any comments from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Did you wanna-
Yeah, if I Sonia, what is the new procedure here? I think this is our first in-person presentation, so where should we stand?
I guess right here is fine, and we'll take a
Okay.
picture.
We
Yeah,
need the
Because you
camera
all
to,
have,
That works for me. Is it so the
we need
camera's
the
Camera's
camera.
right there.
camera's there, right?
well, yeah.
So-
Yeah, come right
Oh,
here.
we're back there too.
Listen, no, come stand here.
Okay.
Because this camera, we have two cameras, right? So come stand right in front of us.
Yeah, that'll work. Like I said, bear with us. This is completely new territory. As I said in introduction to the resolution, thank you for your service year-round, but especially during the pandemic. Normally I wouldn't read this, but I do want to read this because the program I think that you got involved in and the squad got involved in is pretty impressive as we continue this fight. Unfortunately, we're still battling in the middle of the pandemic. So the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners Legislative Branch committed Galloway Township Ambulance Squad in an effort to support the fight against COVID-19. Whereas Galloway Township Ambulance Squad assists local agencies in Galloway, and it continues to serve people throughout the state in the fight against COVID. Whereas Galloway Township Ambulance Squad has been critical to Galloway Township's effort to fight COVID-19 by spending tens of thousands of dollars on resources, including UV lights and bioblasting solutions that assisted the Galloway Fire and Police Departments in helping Township employees make appointments at the Atlantic City Vaccine Megasite. And whereas GTAS has been critical to the state of New Jersey's effort to combat COVID-19 by traveling throughout the state and covering more than 2,000 miles to deliver more than 25,000 doses of vaccine in support of the Department of Health program to vaccinate citizens throughout the state of New Jersey. And whereas GTAS reports to the New Jersey Department of Health Lab in Ewing at 7:30 a.m. 3 days a week. Is that still happening?
It's now 5 days a week.
5 days a week. Oh, this gets better. 5 days a week to deliver vaccines to citizens throughout the state of New Jersey, often getting back to Galloway Township around 7 p.m. or later, I'm assuming now. Whereas GTAS delivered vaccines to clinics, pharmacies, and physicians throughout the state, often providing vaccines to urban areas of the state. And whereas the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners deems it appropriate and necessary to highlight and commend the efforts of Chief Yule and the Galloway Township Ambulance Squad for their leadership and commitment to the people of Atlantic County and the citizens of the state of New Jersey. Now therefore be it resolved on the 7th day of September 2021 that the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners commends Chief Yule and the Galloway Township Ambulance Squad for their tremendous effort and leadership to serve the people of Atlantic County and to provide vaccines to people throughout the state of New Jersey in the fight against COVID-19. So thank you, everyone. We'll give a picture. Then is there anything you want to say that the no, this is.
So the only thing, first of all, I'd like to thank all the commissioners for recognizing us. So yeah, we have, when Commissioner first contacted us, we were just doing 3 days a week, and those numbers were right up until about a month ago when this thing started to ramp up a little bit more. So now we've delivered probably close to 75 to 100,000 doses across the state through a cooperative with the Department of Health and the New Jersey EMS Task Force to get more people vaccinated. The one accomplishment that we're pretty proud of is that we are 100% vaccinated at the Galloway Township Ambulance Squad, so all of our staff have gotten it. But more importantly, we have had not one infection among the members of our staff. We've been COVID-free the entire time. And that's not to brag, that's to really just to relay to you the commitment that these guys all have by making sure they stay safe and doing what's right. I will just share one quick thing with you. Back in March of 2020, when we were meeting with the Department of Health at the state level and started to talk with our stakeholders about what a pandemic meant to emergency responders, I wrote a line that a year later I saw, which said, "It is likely that every EMS agency throughout the state of New Jersey will lose at least one person to COVID-19. And I'm proud to say that we didn't. And I'm proud to say that Atlantic County has not lost anybody to it. So, you know, it's because of the efforts of not only us, but all the squads throughout Atlantic County who we continue every day to try and just muddle our way through something that's just uncharted water. So, Commissioners, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Anyone else?
Anybody else? You guys want to speak?
I appreciate it. You're free to go if you
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Okay, and I think we have the Executive Director of Volunteers in Medicine, Jacqueline, with us today. Absolutely. Is that, Sonia, is this okay? Do you want her to?
Well, the camera is here. She'll be,
I'll stand wherever you want.
okay, it's up to you. When it's archived,
Yeah,
you'll
so,
see her, but today she would have to stand here.
I'll stand over here. I'm okay.
Madam Chair, can I just do a
Yeah,
brief introduction?
absolutely.
Okay, just really quickly, want to just highlight, that Dan, who's on the board of Volunteers in Medicine, had reached out, and pre-pandemic, we had thought that we would have you come and talk about the great work that Volunteers in Medicine does for our community. They provide a ton of free services, which I'm hoping you're going to talk about, Jackie. But I think one thing that is important to know is that during the pandemic, this group of people have been providing pretty much free to little cost or primary and specialty medical care to adults with little to no insurance. And so we want to thank you for that work that you've done. But also I think it's really important for us to get the message out about the services that you offer, because we know that people continue to struggle and need services, and whether we offer them here at Atlantic County or we partner with a group like your wonderful organization, it's important for all of us to have the information to spread the word. So thank you so much for coming in and being here live in person. It's great.
Thank you. And thank you for those kind words. We are a free clinic, completely free, for the uninsured and underserved. We've been in Cape May County for 20 years and Atlantic County for 5 years. In Cape May County, we joke, but not in a good way, that we are the best kept secret. And I don't want to be the best kept secret in Atlantic County, so I really appreciate this opportunity to speak today. I think it's important to understand who we serve and how we do it. So we serve the working poor. Our patients earn just too much for Medicaid. They're not old enough for Medicare, and they certainly don't work the types of jobs that provide benefits, and in many cases year-round or full-time employment. Many of our patients work multiple part-time jobs. They get by, but barely. And they have no money left over for co-pays and premiums, out-of-pockets, deductibles, all those high costs associated with healthcare. There's two components to what we do. One is that free care, but the other is opportunities to serve. So we have about 100 active volunteers, doctors, nurses, students, nurse practitioners, social workers, administrative people, maintenance and handymen even, at our two clinics, one each in Cape May County and Atlantic County, and our two thrift stores, one each in Cape May County and Atlantic County. COVID inspired quite a few doctors to volunteer, so we actually have excess capacity right now, because I have more primary care doctors that have said this should not be happening and people need access to care. I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but I do want to point out that Atlantic County ranks 19 in overall health outcomes. And that's not a good thing, but that's one of the ways where I feel that we can add value to the county, and that we do add value to the county. There are about 10% uninsured here in Atlantic County, and we know that people without health insurance are less likely to have regular, consistent care with a doctor. They're more likely to go to work when they're sick, and to have unmanaged and untreated chronic conditions. And that's really where we come in. There are federally qualified health centers here in Atlantic County, and they perform a admirable and very valuable service to the majority of your population. But there are some people that just don't make it in the FQHC system. And there are some people who, as a society, we've done a good job of making the safety net free of abuse. So we have forms and applications that make it hard to access services, because we don't want people to take advantage. Unfortunately, those things also turn people away, so they do it out. They feel uncomfortable once, and then they never go back. So we have people that have been to the emergency room with out of control blood pressure, and they're told, you need to take something simple like lisinopril, $4 at Walmart. Follow up with your primary care doctor and get a prescription. only they don't have a primary care doctor. So they up and out, they go back to work. A few weeks later, they wind up in the ER. And the cycle happens again until eventually they find volunteers in medicine. So our sweet spot really and truly is for people that are middle-aged with multiple chronic conditions. Those conditions that require frequent doctor's visits, regular medications, and an understanding of that disease and the impact to your lifestyle. I assume everyone here has insurance. I know I have insurance. And these days when you go to the doctor, you kind of get the bumps rush and you get whipped in and whipped out, and they don't take a lot of time to explain things. When you add to that the fact that someone has never really had a formal understanding of a doctor relationship, they never had insurance, so they regularly use the emergency room, or they pay cash, or they do without. They're now diagnosed with something like diabetes or hypertension, and these are diseases that are manageable through lifestyle change, through nutrition, through properly taking your medicine. They need someone that can hold their hand, that can explain things to them, to make sure that they get everything they need. We provide our patients with glucometers, which are an expensive, tool. The test strips are expensive, so that they can manage their blood sugars. And so that's the services that we provide. I could ramble too long about that. I don't want to do that. But I think that it's important that everyone understand that we're here, that you refer to us. I know that your Department of Health includes our brochure in their folders, and we appreciate that. But I also come, with hat in hand, looking for money. We get $70,000 a year from the Board of Commissioners in Cape May County. And I'm certainly not asking for $70,000. But $10,000 would be nice. It would really make a difference. We have all of our patients get their flu vaccine. They're age appropriate, they get their pneumonia vaccine. We've worked very hard with a few of the task forces with the South Jersey Perinatal Cooperative for COVID outreach. My patients are currently 70% vaccinated, which is, I think, a little better than the state average, so we're working hard on that. We're working very closely with smoking cessation programs. So we're here to support your citizens, our volunteers, or your citizens that are looking for a way to give back. But we need your help. It's expensive to run a clinic. We spend about $225,000 a year in each county. Currently, Cape May County subsidizes Atlanta County about $30,000 a year. We hope one of these days we're going to be breaking even in both counties, and that's fine. We have a private family foundation of local businesses, business members here from Atlanta County that approached us 7 years ago and said, we like what you do in Cape May County, but we want it for our people in Atlanta County. And they commit $100,000 a year to our clinic. My thrift store covers a piece of it. Private donations and grant money covers a piece of it. But $10,000 would go a long way to ensuring that we can continue to provide care and continue to do what we do. So, I'm happy to answer any questions about what we do, and I have a copy of my newsletter for everyone, so. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just, where's your location at in Atlanta County?
In Egg Harbor Township, in the same building as the Center for Family Services.
Okay.
Yeah, when we moved here, we knew Atlantic City was well covered, but we felt the mainland was not, and that's where we were needed.
And the thrift store is?
In the same plaza as Produce Junction on Tilton Road.
And a very nice thrift store.
It is. And very easy to donate to, by the way. You can go to the back
that's our
door.
goal, yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
easy, if anybody wants to donate.
Thank you for your
Any other
time.
comments for the commissioners? Okay, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for all you do for the citizens of both counties.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sonia, if I give you copies of the newsletters, and I also brought demographics and,
Awesome.
patient stats by municipality.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jackie, you can stay for the rest if you'd like, but I'm gonna start with ordinance number 7.
An ordinance to vacate and abandon an existing site triangle easement along Third Street at Arenas Court in Hamilton identified as block 2201, lots 11, 11.01, 11.02, and 11.03, final reading.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from our commissioners? Seeing none, since it's final reading, do we have any comments from the public? Seeing, hearing none, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Ordinance number 8.
An ordinance of the County of Atlantic authorizing acquisition of an easement from a parcel of property designed as block 304, lot 1 on the tax map of the city of Ventnor for a signal replacement project by means of agreements or by condemnation pursuant to NJSA 48:12-1 and following, and NJSA 20:3-1 and following. Amount not to exceed $13,000, first reading.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners?
Madam Chair, this, not to exceed 13,000, is this included in the money that was already approved for the signalization of Ventnor Margate Law Court?
No, this is over and above.
This is in addition to that?
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other comments or questions from the commissioners? Okay, seeing none, as it is the first reading, there's no comments from the public at this time. We'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Ordinance number 9, please.
An ordinance of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners establishing the office of Deputy Superintendent of Elections in Atlantic County pursuant to NJSA 19:32-26.1, first reading.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners?
Madam Chair, I just want to bring up, we did discuss this in our budget and administration meeting. And I think generally we were all in favor of adding the position. Just so the public knows, there was recently a statute change that put Atlantic County in the proper designation to be allowed to have this position. And Jerry, you'll correct me if I'm saying this all incorrectly. So we felt that with the superintendent of elections, the office, carrying a majority of the weight on all of the new early voting rules and just kind of all of the challenges we've been facing on voting, that it would be prudent at this time to go ahead and add the position. Again, just for the public's information, this position would be of the opposite party of whoever the superintendent is. So right now, our superintendent is Maureen Bugden. I see her here, of the Republican Party. So this would be a Democrat appointee. And hopefully whoever the appointee is, understands that even though that's their party affiliation, they will have to resign from any party activity once they're given this designation, and we should certainly ask for that commitment of whoever the appointee is. It will be appointed by the state. We don't have any say into who the appointee is, as I understand it.
Is that the governor's appointing? When you say state, I assume governor?
Well, it's a governor's recommendation that, as I understand it, has to be approved by, I think, the Assembly and the Senate. Do you remember correctly, John, or?
We do have
I know
our
it's at least the
superintendent here.
Just the
Maureen, would you
Senate.
like to make any comments?
Now,
Let's hear from Maureen.
Okay.
Maureen, do you have any comments you'd like to make in this regard?
Sure, well, I'm certainly here for any questions the commissioners may have. First, let me say thank you for your support several weeks ago. I was in Princeton for an election conference, and we had early voting on the agenda, and just over $2 million worth of equipment that was purchased with your consent. which will be reimbursed by the state. So I know I broke up a little bit on the call that day, but I wanted to thank you for your support of that. We're working very hard in all of the election offices in order to implement early voting, which will begin on October 23rd in our county at 6 sites spread out geographically across the county. And we're very, very busy expanding the warehouse for this new equipment, electronic poll books, and new paper verified audit trail voting machines. The machines will be exclusive to early voting and will use our regular fleet for general election day. The electronic poll books will be used for both early voting and the regular election. So paper poll books will now become a thing of the past. So, having said all that, there is plenty of work to go around. We certainly welcome anyone who's willing to join our team and work hard to bring this off, and as well as all of our other responsibilities, the investigating of potential election crime, the registering of our voters, which is now available online and in the paper format, and all of those things. That's what our office does, supplying lists to the public and so on and so forth. But I can tell you it's an extraordinary few years of elections within our county and across the state, and we're very proud of the job we're doing. And so if there's any specific questions about this position, but we're in support of any help we can get whatsoever.
Commissioner Bertino.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a few questions. First of all, I think now that the state's recognizing, because of the workload that's going into that office, there's the need for 2 people. And we're apparently recognizing that here in Atlantic County. First, I want to say thank you to you and your staff, because apparently for the last 2 years, you've been doing double the work. And the way you're doing it, since we're bringing you some additional help at this point in time, I want to commend you on the work your office did. When you look at voters and you look at some of the other states and counties and all the issues they go through with voter registration and election law and whatever, Atlantic County sailed through that, and I'm not aware of anybody that complained about your performance and your duties in the office. So I think that's a compliment to you and your staff, and I want to make sure that's pointed out publicly. Number 2, with the creation of this position, I'm curious as to the oversight for that second in command, so to speak. Do you have administrative oversight over the duties and responsibilities? Do they report to you? Or do they report independently because they're being created by the governor's office in the Senate, and we have no oversight on that locally? How's that working?
As I understand it, yes, they would report to me. However, I would consider it to be a collaboration, hopefully, that it'll be somebody of great integrity, because we take our role very, very seriously. I appreciate your comments. It is absolutely a team effort. I have a very hard-working group of men and women of all affiliations. So there is indeed a balance, and always has been in that office. And quite honestly, the work is a tremendous honor. You lose any affiliation the minute that you step into this role. Your service truly is to the voters and registrants of Atlantic County. And we've not had an issue at my level, at least, in the state that I'm even aware of. There's too much work for that kind of nonsense, quite frankly. We take it seriously.
One other question I have, as to normally through administration or through you as department heads, you generally have some oversight. I'm not familiar with the legislation that creates the position and how the structure and stuff is in place, because apparently I don't know if it's being used in other counties in the state or not. So it is in place. I just want to make sure that somehow there is oversight that you have over them as to their duties and performance, and there's a criteria in place if there's some issue that needs to be addressed. You and whoever the person is can address it jointly, or there's some format you guys follow to make sure it's done correctly. I'm assuming that's the case. I don't know that. Normally, if we're doing it, we're an advise and consent board. Normally, the name gets put up. A lot of times they come through here through the board, and we get an opportunity to see and meet and know the person. Here, I don't know who the person's going to be. Since the governor's going to be appointed, obviously it'll be somebody from Atlantic County, and obviously it would be from the other party that that's separate from you. I'm just making, I don't know who it is, and I don't know how that oversight follows to make sure everything keeps running smooth and fairly as it's done in the past. You don't have any oversight over that person. Are you aware of that, or no?
I mean, I believe this is your first reading, so rather than talk out of turn, this is new to me as well,
Okay.
as you can imagine. I can certainly get back to you with that information, but I can tell you we're in constant contact as well with the Division of Elections. And it's a partnership. You know, we're all learning. I'll be the first one to come and tell you at some point if something isn't working out, or I'm not a shy person to call that person on the carpet, so to speak. I mean, really, in all sincerity, we are essential workers. We are a part of critical infrastructure. We have, we fall directly under the Division of Elections and the New Jersey Department of Homeland Security and Preparedness. This is serious stuff.
Yes.
Election officials throughout the country are being threatened. This is a charge that we take tremendously to heart. And so please allow me to come back and get the facts for you in that respect so you can have a comfort level. But with having said that, we definitely can use the help. So I'm certainly open to it and hopeful that it's a good collaboration whenever it comes into play.
Okay,
Thank you, Maureen.
thank you.
Commissioner Resley.
Thank you. Maureen, you and your department have always done an excellent job, and it's well noted. There's never been any issues or problems, and it's a credit to you and your department. Likewise, with the Board of Elections, we're fortunate to have the folks on the Board of Elections, both Democrats and Republicans, that did, quite frankly, an excellent job. As you may know, I sat there and reviewed the ballots and saw them go up on the screen over and over and over. And they performed their duties with fidelity, with precision and efficiency, and they did an excellent job. My question, Maureen, is about the early voting. We're still looking for poll workers, I assume, correct?
Yes, we
And the pay is $200 a day, or?
I believe so, yes. The poll workers are hired by the Board of Elections. I believe that is the amount. However, there will be super poll workers this year for some of the teams that will be set up at the early voting site. So you'll have regular poll workers, and then you will have what's considered a super poll worker. And there'll be two at a minimum at each of our early voting sites. One will be a representative of the Board of Elections office. One will be a representative of the Superintendent of Elections offices. And it's the same way it'll be in place throughout the state. At least that's the plan for now. And the reason being, the Superintendent of Elections is the custodian of the machines and also the Commissioner of Registration. These electronic poll books contain that registration database. So you're using two forms of new technology that, it's going to be a learning curve for the voting public, but I think they're going to absolutely love it. Poll worker error goes down, so the cleanliness and accuracy of our voter rolls goes up, right? But for those who show up at a early voting site who may be new to the county, or something is indicated in the rolls that there may be a problem with their address and they have to vote by provisional ballot, you're going to have those two supervisors ready to assist, and we consider it to be like a learning in process for the poll workers, who they themselves are also learning this new technology. So they're not going to be thrown out there on their own. So we do have those roles as well available.
So there's going to be, as I understand it, 4 people at each polling place, 4 poll workers?
No.
Two?
The exact number of poll workers is yet to be determined.
Oh.
And with all respect, that's probably a question for the Board of Elections,
Okay,
who is hiring the poll workers.
right,
But I'm saying in addition to poll workers at early voting sites, there'll be 2 supervisors.
okay,
And for the first time, one of those will be a representative of the superintendent or the Commissioner of Registration in all of our counties. So
All right, thank you.
it's another added level of comfort insofar as making sure that, our voter rolls are as accurate as possible.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen. Do we have any other comments or questions from our commissioners?
My only other comment, Madam Chair, and I don't know how we'll deal with this, but I'm going to vote for it now on first reading. But by the time we get to second reading, right now, the Senate isn't scheduled to go back into session
Session till
until
November.
after the November election, as I understand it. The secretary will not give a date. So we need this position now for this election, which is what I think we were hoping for, which leaves two reasons for the Senate to go back into session for the sake of Atlantic County. Not only this, but also putting our senator, giving the senator the keys to his office to serve his constituency. So I don't know how we urge the Senate to, at second reading, if it does pass successfully, to come into session and do the business of the people, but Maureen's gonna be carrying a ton of weight without this position, which we were hoping would be there for this election cycle. So I don't know how we deal with that issue, but it's just another comment on this position.
First, you make a good point, Commissioner, on the first reading part, and we'll see where we're at
Yeah,
from the state.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Maureen.
You're welcome, and I'll take your very complimentary comments back to the superintendent team, their our working group of folks. And I do have some handouts for you guys that and gals I'll leave up front, including some information about early voting and applications and so on and so forth.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maureen.
Thank you.
Okay, we will have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
First reading, yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes,
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries.
Madam Chair, is it possible to get any more chairs? We have a lot of people in the hall. Are we allowed to have more chairs?
I don't think you can.
Okay. Just
I'm
ask.
thinking the protocol,
Right,
that's
right.
why they have the seating the way they. I don't have to ask.
Okay, thank you.
Sign it really.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Madam Clerk, how
Yeah,
many we're supposed to try to social distance? I know that.
we were attempting to do that
Yeah.
based on what we were told.
Right,
I would think the only possible thing is maybe to open the door that way, and if people can stand, like social distance going that way. I know there's some people standing this way. I'm not sure if they can hear or not,
okay.
so whatever your pleasure.
I don't know how many we have out there.
It looks like, how many is it, like, right for that?
You're looking at about 10?
More than,
Somebody might know an actual count, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
There's about 15.
15.
okay.
Looks about 10 to me.
So Kathy, if you want to open that door, and if they want to stay, if that's all right with you, Madam Chair.
absolutely.
2, 4, 6,
You can open both sides,
10, 12, 14, that looks like.
because I think everyone in environmental health is probably gone. Mike, is your office is closed?
Until 5.
Okay.
Yeah, and we do ask that everybody be considerate of each other with the social distancing. Okay, I'm gonna keep moving, okay? All right, I'll entertain a motion to move resolution number 489 to the top of the agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Motion made in second. Any commissioners' comments? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
yes,
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 489, please.
Resolution in support of Atlantic County Economic Alliance's application for a United States Department of Commerce Economic Development Administration statewide regional planning grant via the New Jersey Economic Development Authority.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made in second. Any commissioner comments at this time? Okay, and I believe we have Lauren Moore and Carol, the Director of Smart Airport and Aviation Partnership here. Is that right?
That's correct, and Matt Slusher.
And Max Slusher. Mr. Moore, would you like to make any
Thank you.
comments?
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you very much for considering this resolution on such short notice. We have a great opportunity here to worked with the governor's office and the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. Here's the good news. The governor, for the Build Back Better program, so if you're familiar, US EPA put the Build Back Better program and made grant funding available to help impacted areas recover from the pandemic. And as you know, we're working very, very hard to diversify our economy here in Atlantic County. I just got a letter today, this afternoon, signed by Governor Murphy, recommending the Atlantic County Economic Alliance for a $1 million program planning grant. $1 million program planning grant. And I will say this, you should feel proud. We feel proud. Thank you for the opportunity. We've been working 4 hard years to put ourselves in this position. Get this kind of recognition from the governor's office and the New Jersey Economic Development Authority to help us get grant funding to put solid programming in place to help us diversify, our economy. And this grant, in fact, this grant, this $1 million grant, each governor in the country got $1 million from US EDA so that they can designate an entity that was an area that was hard hit and an entity to administer these funds to help diversify the economy. And guess what? Governor Murphy and the new Economic Development Authority team identified us to do this. I do want to say that I got the call late Wednesday afternoon of last week that said, hey, Lauren, with the, you guys, we want to designate the ACEA for these funds to put the plans in place to help grow this cluster. We'll talk a little bit about the plans to grow this cluster. And I said, that's great. When's it due? Oh, it's due Friday the 10th. I want to apologize for, that's why we're here in front of you, but there's a lot of excitement around this. And this really validates everything that we've been working on to advance and diversify the economy. In fact, I just wanted to take a minute. This is absolute rocket fuel. This is a term that we've been using, rocket fuel, for us, because this is going to allow us. We know that there's a lot of money coming, through the stimulus programs and a lot of grant opportunities. This allows us to put the plans and programs in place to actually start applying for infrastructure money to actually start building things and going vertical with some of our infrastructure and making some of our incubators and accelerators permanent across the county that didn't exist before. Absolute rocket fuel to put us in a position. And just real quick, and I have this letter from the governor. I'm pleased to designate the Atlantic County Economic Alliance as the applicant, as the eligible recipient for this statewide planning grant on behalf of my administration. ACEA has a track record of success in supporting and growing the economy of Atlantic County and the surrounding South Jersey region with our partners. And this is important to me. I really believe in a regional economy. We work closely, with our partners at Cape May that have an aviation program, our partners in the South Jersey Economic Development District. And I see Commissioner Risley, who works with the South Jersey Economic Development District with Cumberland and Salem. We want to work with them as well on this initiative, as we go forward. This is crucial support for us. This is Trenton, the Governor's Office and EDA recognizing what we have done in the last 4 years and saying, look, we want to invest in you now, to take this to the next level. And Carol Matesic, who is the director of our Smart Airport and Aviation Partnership, and she is also, her office is right next to mine over at the Aviation Tech Park. I want to ask Carol to speak a little bit about what we're proposing to do with this funding. Carol?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks for this opportunity. We're really delighted. As Lauren just conveyed last week, it was hard to know whether to call this the Pot of Gold grant or acknowledge it for what it is, which is, as Lauren said, a real acknowledgement of the efforts that the ACEA has made over these 2 years in growing what's called an economic growth cluster in the field of aviation. Although the grant came very quickly, we have been able, thanks to your help in part, to put these papers together that are due on the 10th And I'm just going to briefly review some of the programs which we did have to identify by the 10th that we to allocate portions of this grant toward building. One portion would go to what you might consider traditional strategic planning tools, things like inventorying assets that are aviation related, not only in our region, but around the county. Studying the supply chain in the county. Graphic example of why that kind of thing is needed. We have companies coming in at this point for business attraction tours, meetings. The first question they ask us is, how are you going to get us up in the air for test flights? And that involves all kinds of infrastructure. You don't just have that. You've got to plan it and work it out actually with the regulatory authorities in the case of aviation to construct it. So this grant in part gives us the opportunity to do that and to put that in our toolkit. There will be all kinds of traditional planning, but we call it action-oriented strategic. We don't want the plans to end up on shelves for the next 3 years. We're requiring that the consultants who work with us on this make each of their plans recommendation-based. We have 30 months to complete this project. The second major activity is a coordination of local and then statewide economic development plans to add to those plans an aviation-based component. We're pretty sure we're going to find that most counties, municipalities, and other subdivisions of the state do not have specific plans for aviation. Coordinating those together is not only going to help from a systems viewpoint, but it's going to permit Atlantic County to take the deserved lead in coordinating throughout the state the policies that each of us is going to be implementing in coming years as aviation grows more and more for each of us. The segments of aviation, by the way, that are particular growth areas in which the economic forecasts are showing, we're looking at literally billions in future years in the United States and domestic revenues, are UAS, which many of you may call drones, uncrewed aviation systems, and then AAM, which is advanced air mobility. Atlantic County, through your ACEA team, has made tremendous strides in attracting that kind of business here. And I'm mentioning that just to again, kind of highlight why the need for this kind of grant was so great. We had taken aviation business development to a point where we were exceedingly frustrated because we don't have the money to build the infrastructure that we need for that next step. This starts giving it to us, as will the Build Back Better grants that we'll be applying for on October 19th. Another area that we will be addressing with these grant monies, we call disaster recovery support systems. In 2 areas, aviation touches this very specifically. NARDP and ACA have both already sponsored groundbreaking aviation testing in how drones can be used after emergencies in our communities. As you know, we're frequently flooded, we frequently are vastly affected by coastal storms that move in from the ocean. And at the present time in the United States, the default rule is you can't use drones to help first responders in reconnaissance, search and rescue, or any other type of post-disaster emergency event. We have worked with the FAA both at headquarters in Washington, D.C. and here at the FAA Tech Center, and recently sponsored at NARDP a one-day series of 7 flight exercises across the southern regions of the county as a kind of proof of concept to show what we could do with our various drone assets if we were permitted after the weather emergencies that we're, unfortunately seeing more and more of in our state. That's one area. The other will be a recovery, a center that we hope will serve as prototype at Atlantic City International Airport to help develop technologies that help American travelers feel safe with air traffic. As you undoubtedly have heard, there are all kinds of technologies being developed to help fight off the COVID and other viruses. And ACEA already sponsored, again, a groundbreaking demonstration that was several months ago with one major international company to show off that kind of technology. We want to use that not only for its incredible innate health benefits, but also because that kind of program attracts businesses that are developing those kind of technologies from around the country. When we tell them, we've got an airport you can use, we've got a concierge staff that will help you break into this area and settle here, and there's nowhere like living in Southern Jersey. It's just a tremendous business attraction tool that very few people around the country have. And you've got the talent in your ACA team to do it. And I'm sorry to kind of repeat that for the third time, but maybe you don't see that as much when people have to come before you as a board. But every single person on that staff, and I watch them and work with them closely day to day, they just work triple time. It's pretty amazing effort. Okay, real quickly, a few of the other areas are, as Lauren mentioned, amping up our accelerator program. We have already brought 15 companies, literally from around the world, into the county to go through a 4 or 5 month accelerator program. We only accept candidates who have expressed an interest in settling in their settling parts of their operations in Atlantic County. We will continue with that. We're going to be creating a sustainable funding network for small companies. And in that regard, part of our effort under this grant will be to bridge a huge gap that exists between northern and southern investment and funding networks that exist. In South Jersey, unfortunately, we've not had the opportunity yet to develop much of a network. North Jersey has very strong ones and perhaps larger ones than we really need or want at this point. But the important thing under this grant is to bring all of the statewide assets together and kind of level them out so that, again, we can bring in new businesses. We're going to do airspace planning with this grant, which again is critical to us to be able to get the aircraft that are currently coming in with the new companies up in the air, doing their test flights. And we also hope to design and do all the preliminary planning for a workforce entrepreneurial center that would be located in Atlantic City. We may have Princeton and Stockton taking a partnership lead on that. We're not sure of that yet. Again, this has all happened in the past 5 days, and as you might imagine, we've been working around the clock. The last thing I would mention is that DEI, by the direction of the USEDA and the governor, is a very, very important part of this grant. That's diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we feel very passionately, just as we do about aviation itself, that that's the kind of thing that you have to work into programs from the very beginning. It's not just an additive. You don't come up with the kind of programs that I've just mentioned and say, oh, at the end, let's say something about diversity or try to make it, inclusive. We hope in this grant to do a kind of staff, not necessarily our staff, although we certainly will all join in, but everybody who's working on any of these programs, we hope to do joint DEI training with, so that we're all kind of bending our minds in innovative ways and taking DEI from the very onset and infusing all of the programs with those wonderful qualities so that we end up with the kind of work that we're required to by the USEDA. Again, thanks for this opportunity. Sorry that it took a while to go through the programs, but it's a lot of money.
Thank you very much. I'm just going to say, I know Max Slusher is on, not that I'm asking for your comments, but I do want to congratulate you on your retirement with the Navy after only 41 years.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for your service, Commander Slusher. Okay, do I have any comments from the commissioners?
Congratulations.
I know.
Congratulations.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
One in the whole state is just amazing, fantastic, and it really speaks loudly to the work that you've done. And you're putting us in a sweet spot going into the future, and we appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Commissioner.
And I think thanks for scurrying to get this together over a holiday weekend. And I know there's some other trials going on in your lives, so thanks for scurrying to get it together.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
For your support.
Great job. Thank you very much. Any other comments from the commissioners? Okay, seeing none. Any comments from the public? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we'll have the roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 452.
Amending resolution number 522, adopted October
Thank you.
20th, 2020. Grant agreement with the New Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development.
Made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Hearing and seeing none. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 453.
Amending resolution number 378, adopted July 20, 2021. Grant agreement with the New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety, Office of the Attorney General for the fiscal year 2021 Operation Helping Hand Grant Program to include subaward number SFYOHH-01-2021, no additional amount.
Second.
Motion made second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing and hearing none. Any comments from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 454.
Amending the Atlantic County fiscal year 2014 annual action plan with the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development for the Community Development Block Grant Program, no additional amount.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Any comments from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. That brings us to resolution 455.
Amending resolution number 403, adopted August 3rd, 2021, to submit the Atlantic County fiscal year 2021 to fiscal year 2025 consolidated plan and the Atlantic County fiscal year 2021 annual action plan to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development for the Community Development Block Grant Program and the Home Investment Partnership Program, no additional amount.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Any comments from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to combine and adopt resolution numbers 456 to 462, the chapter 159.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing none, any comments from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 463, please.
Amended professional services agreement with various architects, engineers, designers, and other professional consultants from the 2015-2016 pool to extend the term date, no additional cost.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Any comments from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 464, please.
Amended professional services agreements with various architects, engineers, designers, and other professional consultants from the 2017-2018 pool to extend the term date, no additional cost.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Any comments from the public? Okay, our roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 465.
Amended professional services agreements with various architects, engineers, designers, and other professional consultants from the 2018-2019 pool to extend the term date, no additional cost.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 466.
Amended professional services agreements with various architects, engineers, designers, and other professional consultants from the 2019-2020 pool to extend the term date, no additional cost.
Motion?
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing here none. Any comments from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 467.
Amended professional services agreement with various architects, engineers, designers, and other professional consultants from the 2020-2021 pool to extend the term date, no additional cost.
Motion?
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 468.
Professional services agreements with various architects, engineers, designers, and other professional consultants to establish a 2021-2022 pool on an as-needed basis for Atlantic County facilities projects, amount not to exceed $750,000.
Motion?
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public?
I
Hey,
have a
Rob.
question. Is Palestina and Associates allowed to be in there now? Just a question.
Is that 468?
Yes, they can bid on these. I'm not a lawyer, so.
I believe that's correct. I don't think he's got a conflict, but I haven't looked at it in depth, but he's as long as he meets the requirements of all the other vendors, he can be permitted.
Okay.
Thank you. Roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
No.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 469.
Professional services contract with Nutrition Link Services to provide dietitian consultant services for Meadowview Nursing and Rehabilitation Center and intergenerational services. Amount not to exceed $65,600.
Motion?
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners?
Madam Chair, I just want to highlight, we did spend some time on this in our subcommittee meeting. This was something that was initiated by our staff, and it's a newer program that will allow an audit to ensure that we're providing the right nutritional standards. Menus are changing and still adequate. And just making sure that we're really giving the best service to these residents as well as people on the at-home nutrition programs as well. And I just thought it was a really good program that our staff brought up to bring to the county. And I just want to highlight their work for finding this.
Thank you. It is very important. Okay, any other comments from the commissioners? Anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 470.
Renewal competitive contract with Dr. Christopher J. Lucosti, DO, to serve as medical director for the Department of Human Services and Public Safety. Amount not to exceed $38,000.
Motion?
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Brings us to resolution 471.
Renewal competitive contract with Partners Pharmacy for the provision of pharmaceutical services to Meadowview Nursing and Rehabilitation Center, amount not to exceed $398,800.
Motion?
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. That brings us down to resolution 472.
Bid contract with various vendors to furnish and deliver kitchen and catering supplies for the Department of Human Services. Amount not to exceed $185,334.49.
Motion?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any comments from the commissioners? Anything from the public? No? Roll call, please.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Dees?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 473.
Bid contract with Think Pavers Hardscaping Limited Liability Corporation for the resurfacing of Old Tilton Road, County Route 687 in Egg Harbor Township and Pleasantville. Amount not to exceed $1,752,953.
So moved.
Second?
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Dees?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 474.
Bid contract with Arawak Paving Company Incorporated for the roadway resurfacing of Mill Road, County Route 651, Section 7A, Part of 7B in the town of Absecon. Amount not to exceed $1,019,000.
So moved.
Second?
Motion has been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Any comments from the public? Roll call, please.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 475.
Agreement with the City of Absecon to incorporate the Absecon Library into the county library system, no cost.
Motion?
Second?
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Brings us to resolution 476.
Lease agreement with the City of Absecon for the library facilities located at 305 New Jersey Avenue, Absecon, amount not to exceed $31,250 per year.
Motion?
Second?
Motion has been made and second. Any comments?
Question. Jerry,
Yes,
is that also $5 a square foot?
yes, it is, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, any other comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 477.
Lease agreement with S&T Realty Limited Liability Corporation for warehouse space to be utilized by the Superintendent of Elections, amount not to exceed $34,200.
Motion?
Second?
Motion has been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners?
Yeah, Madam Chair, this is where the additional voting machines and all of the new poll books, the hundreds of poll books that are coming will be stored. And this is temporary until our new warehousing space is available for permanent usage.
Thank you for clarifying that. Any other comments from the commissioners? Okay, seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, roll call, please.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. 478, please.
Resolution in support of Pleasantville's application to the New Jersey Department of Transportation for NJDOT fiscal year 2022 Safe Routes to School Grant Program funds. No
Motion.
cost.
You want to say it again?
Motion?
Second.
Sorry.
Motion has been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing and hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 479, please.
Intergovernmental Services Agreement with the Atlantic Cape Community College for a supplemental learning lab program amount not to exceed $80,350.
Motion?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Grizzly?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 480, please.
Acquisition of additional right-of-way to accommodate road widening, drainage, and traffic signal improvements at the intersection of Pomona Road and Vera King Ferris Drive at Stockton University along Block 875, Lot 1.01 in the Township of Galloway, no cost.
Motion?
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Ridley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 481, please.
Alternate method contract with Royal Printing Services for the printing of election envelopes, amount not to exceed $25,000.
Motion.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 482.
Emergency contract with Jewish Family Service for social engagement programs and services to help reduce, deter social isolation, and increase social connectedness in those 60-plus years and older due to COVID-19. Amount not to exceed $40,000.
Motion.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners?
Just another really great new offering that's going to be coming about for our senior population, counseling, socialization, education, activities, a lot of really good things. I hope people take advantage of it and you know, family members help their elderly persons get this information and get these services.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments from our commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 483.
Emergency contract with Richard E. Pearson Construction Company Incorporated for construction services to replace the New York Avenue Bridge HML 66 over Gravelly Run in Hamilton Township. Amount not to exceed $1,430,498.49.
Very loud motion.
Second.
Very loud one?
Yes. Very, very strong one.
Okay, motion has been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Any comments from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 484.
Alternate method contract with Acela Incorporated to provide a data management software system for the Department of Public Health. Amount not to exceed $165,870.
Motion.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any comments from our commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 485.
Contracts with various providers for the provision of hospice services at Meadowview Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. No cost.
Motion.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 486, please.
Memorandum of agreement with the Atlantic County Prosecutor and Atlantic County Chief Assistant Prosecutors and authorizing a formal written collective bargaining agreement incorporating the terms of the memorandum of agreement for a 4-year period commencing January 1, 2020.
Motion.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 487.
Project labor agreement with the South Jersey Building and Construction Trades Council for the proposed Lake Lenape Park East Phase 3 project, no cost.
Motion.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 488, please.
Intergovernmental Services Agreement with Mulligan Township regarding assignment of a police officer to the Atlantic County Prosecutor's Office.
Motion?
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to combine and adopt resolutions number 490 to 493, which are appointments and reappointments.
Motion. Second.
The motion's been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Any comments from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 494.
Authorizing consent for a roadway solicitation event by Pomona Volunteer Fire Company Number 3 at the intersection of Jimmy Leach Road, County Route 633, and Pomona Road, County Route 575, in the Township of Galloway on Saturday, October 2, 2021, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Motion.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Any comments from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. That brings us to commissioner-sponsored ones. We have resolution 495.
Madam Chair, can we just skip that for now? I think Kate is still joining,
Okay,
if you don't mind.
no, not at all. We'll jump to resolution 496.
Resolution in support of the Summers Point being designated as a bicycle-friendly community. Sponsors Commissioner Maureen Kern and Commissioner Amy L. Gatto.
Motion?
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Commissioner.
Go ahead.
Okay, I think it's a great resolution. I still gonna keep beating this drum, still would like to see, the survey redone and that speed limit reduced to 40 miles an hour in that location. Especially, you know, once the lines get painted in the roadway and we're connecting the Parkway Bridge to the causeway going into Ocean City, there will be a lot of bicycle traffic. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of bicycle traffic there over the weekend, whether there was some race or whatever, but there was a lot of people in, you know, these healthy guys in their bicycles, you know, skinny little bicycle uniforms. And they never ride just single file down the shoulder. They're always 2 or 3 wide. And, you know, you have cars that are going out to oncoming traffic to go around them. And you may not think that 5 miles an hour makes much of a difference, but it does. It does. So again, I would just you know, ask our engineer to relook at that and consider the request from the city of Summers Point to reduce that speed limit.
I agree and support your comments, Commissioner. Any other comments from our commissioners? Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
I agree with Commissioner Ballas on the speed limit thing, but I also wanted to comment on the bike path. I had opportunity to use the Summers Point bike path recently, and it's wide and paved and painted and really, really nice. So congratulations, good job.
Yeah, we do a great job of understanding that. Do we have any other comments from the
I
commissioners?
think that's why we want to support their continued
they Bike anywhere in
efforts toward bicycle-friendly features, yeah.
Yeah, it is great. You can really bike anywhere, which a lot of people even moving into town, it's one of the things that they, you know, comment on as well. Okay, any other comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 497.
Resolution in support of Village Supermarket Incorporated, application before the Casino Redevelopment Authority seeking approval to build a ShopRite Market in Atlantic City. Sponsors Commissioner Karen L. Fitzpatrick and Commissioner Ernest E. Corsi.
Motion?
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any commissioner comments?
Since I'm sitting over here. I figured,
Okay,
you know.
that's great. That works, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Corsi.
I would just like to say that an addition of a supermarket in Atlantic City will be a real change agent there. The CRDA, who I do not work for, is going through the Jim Johnson report, check by check by check. And one of the items was specifically the city should focus on catalytic strategic projects such as a food market and shift to neighborhood-based investments. And that will help create more neighborhood. Atlantic City is, as we know, a food desert. It will help the nutrition of the families who live there. It will just benefit the city immensely. And this is going to be voted on September 21st. And I hope that it will pass. It'll be good for everybody in the city.
Thank you, I agree. It really has a lot to do with nutrition, health, and it's greatly needed in Atlantic City. Do we have any other comments from our commissioners?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Yes, as Commissioner Fitzpatrick stated, they are going to be voting on it on September 21st, and I believe it's pretty much common knowledge that it's going to pass. The city of Atlantic City has wanted it for many, many years. ShopRite wants it, CRDA wants it. I don't want to really, spoil their thunder and say that we had something to do with it by passing this resolution, but I'm absolutely going to vote for this. But it's definitely going to pass, and it's hopefully they get shovels in the ground quickly and get it built, and they hire, as they're talking about, hire residents of Atlantic City to work in there, and it's going to be a great asset for the city of Atlantic City.
Yeah, it definitely is. And it is, a done deal. We know
Done
that.
deal.
Any other commissioner comments? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, and I did not ask for public comments. Do we have any public comments? Okay, motion carries.
Madam Chair, I believe she is.
Yes, there is.
What's that? Do we have some?
No, Kate's on.
I believe.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, we're gonna go back to resolution 495.
Resolution commending Kate Bergen of Absecon for her service and contribution to the community and imploring the National September 11 Memorial and Museum to exhibit her Women of 9/11 painting series. Sponsors Commissioner Amy L. Gatto and Commissioner Richard R. Days.
Motion.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any comments from our commissioners?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. This is timely and a long time coming. I don't know if Kate is on yet as a speaker, but Kate is a paramedic, so it's very apropos with our theme today of recognizing paramedics and EMTs. She's been doing it for about 15 years in our county. And she's also a very creative and artistic person, and in trying to deal with the trials of being a paramedic and a first responder, and also getting through the pandemic, she started painting artwork, which she called the Modern Day Rosies series, which just recognized other female first responders in her artwork. And then she decided to go into a specialty series to feature the women who served in 9/11 from all over the state of New Jersey, not just our area. And she's put together a really, really beautiful paint tribute to many women across the state, not only with the 9/11 series, but with the Modern Day Rosie series. She's got Heroes Helping Heroes. She's got several series. I believe she's working on one now of women who serve in the military that are in our area, and just really great stuff. And she had come to me and said, I really want to try to get this to show at the museum, the 9/11 museum in New York City. And, how do I do that? You're the only elected official I know. And so I said, well, why don't we start with giving you some support via a resolution and trying to get some attention to up at the 9/11 committee and some recognition of this work. So I'm hoping that this will just be a start, and that perhaps some other towns of the ladies that are featured in these series will also do the same thing, and we'll really get a movement going. Kate, I don't know if you're there, if you want to say a few words about your goal and your series.
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hey, Kate.
Cool. I'm sorry. Actually, you kind of nailed everything that I was going to say about what I'm doing. That really explained it very beautifully. I just really want to do something nice for these women that did so, went above and beyond for all of us, everyone that was involved, and, any kind of help and support I could get, I'd be grateful for.
Awesome. Thank you, Kate. Thank you for all that you do. Do we have any other comments for our commissioners?
Just briefly, Kate, first of all, I also want to thank you for your service to the community as an EMS, and for, I guess, channeling your the stress that so many first responders have felt by displaying your art, your artistic ability. And as we come across the 20th anniversary, there's still so many stories that need to be told in an effort to never forget that day. So thank you for telling the story of these female heroes that put everything on the line to try to rescue and help out on that day. So thank you for that, Kate.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Hey, Kate, where can people go to see your art pieces? I only know because I'm your Facebook friend, so I see them, but.
Right. We have our Facebook page, which is Bergen Studios. I also have an Etsy page, which is Kate the Riveter, but I haven't done any of my 9/11 up there yet because we're doing an actual rollout of the series. So I probably will put that up sometime this week. And then in general, if you Google Kate Bergen paramedic, articles and interviews actually come up. So there's a lot of information, a lot of pictures out there. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of.
Awesome. And I'll be happy to forward some of the work to the commissioners if you'd like to help, spread the information.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Any further comments from the commissioners? Thank you, Kate. Seeing none, any comments from the public? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 498.
Resolution in support of Senate Bill 1878 to ban smoking in casinos. Sponsor, Commissioner Karen L. Fitzpatrick.
Motion.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners?
Everybody knows what secondhand smoke does, and staff and employees of our hotels and casinos deserve a safe workplace.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments from our commissioners?
I 100% agree with you. I think our new senator does too. Senator Palestina came out against it as well. I hope we can get enough recognition of that, of this endeavor. I know there's quite an effort going on now. I think it's the Smoke Free AC is the organization now. So I'm glad to see people are kind of mobilized together, and hopefully we can make a change.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Madam Chair? Yeah, not sure when it's going to actually come in front of the Senate, whenever they get back. But I can tell you, I was at the casino on Sunday for the Toby Keith concert, and after the concert we walked in and played a couple of slot machines, and walking through the smoking section, the slot area, I couldn't get through it quick enough. So I can only imagine a dealer, a server, or a slot attendant or a security guard having to sit there and smell that for that whole time. I was listening to Ann Baker earlier today on a radio show, and they had a dealer call in, and apparently it was a high roller room, and she was dealing to this gentleman who was there for 8 hours, and he would keep pushing his ashtray closer to the dealer, and chain smoker, one wasn't even out, and he was lighting the next one for 8 straight hours. Can't imagine what that does, secondhand smoke, and as this lady called it, third-hand smoke, with that cigarette smoke and stuff in your clothing. You're taking it home to your grandkids, your children, infants, and stuff like that. So our employees or their employees, our residents and visitors to the casinos should be in a safe environment. And you can't smoke on the beach in the open air, but you can smoke in the casino.
Right.
So the Senate can't get back quick enough and vote for this thing and get it done.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments from our commissioners? Seeing, hearing none, we'll have, or any comments from the public? No? We'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Rutino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
I will abstain since I am employed by the casinos. Okay, motion carries. Resolution 499.
Resolution honoring United States soldiers, families of United States soldiers, and United States allies that sacrificed their lives to fight in Afghanistan military operations. Sponsor, Commissioner Frank X. Ballas.
Motion.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any comments from our commissioners?
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Ballas.
Thank you. Yeah, I just thought it was very appropriate, especially with the timing of the complete withdrawal of our military out of Afghanistan and the anniversary, the 20th anniversary of 9/11, which is coming up this weekend. When you look at it, we were over there for basically 20 years. Over 800,000 Americans have volunteered their time to go and fight for our country in a war that a lot of them didn't understand, but they volunteered to go for. Many didn't make it back. Many made it back, and with injuries, whether physical, scars that, whether it's lost limbs, some quadruple amputees, and the mental scars that they'll carry with them for the rest of their lives. And not just them, but their families who have lost their sons, daughters, husbands, wives, and just thought it was appropriate for us to, as a board, to thank them for volunteering and for us to, let them know that we're there for them, not just today, not yesterday, but every day going forward.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I understand that calls to the veteran suicide line have tremendously increased. So we have to keep them all in our prayers and, watch people that you know. If you see something, call it in, help them out, because they do not like to ask for help, the majority of them. Any other comments from our commissioners?
Just along the lines of what you just said, that they should know that it wasn't in vain. It wasn't in vain.
Absolutely.
Any other comments from our commissioners? Okay, any comments from the public? Okay, seeing none, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Rutino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. That concludes the written portion of our agenda and the reports of special committees of the board.
Senior Citizens Advisory Council, they're gonna go back to in-person lunches at the senior centers October 1st. They're very happy.
Thank you.
Because they can socialize.
Yeah. Any other commissioners? Okay, seeing none, any reports of special committees of the board? Any unfinished business? Seeing none, any new business? Seeing none, we've received copies of written communications and petitions. Any commissioner comments or anything they'd like to share? Seeing none, we'll now open the public comments portion. Anyone that would like to speak, please come to the podium and state your name and the town you reside. If you're attending virtually, please type yes. In the question and answer box, you'll be raised from an attendee to a panelist. When you're raised, please state your name and the town you reside. And do we have a spokesperson here?
I'm the spokesperson.
You're the spokesperson? Okay.
It's got to go this way.
Where'd you go?
Yeah, like maybe right in front of your desk.
Sorry, moving guy, struggling.
The wheels don't work too well.
No, they
You
don't.
need help?
A little bit.
Some would say I do it right, but I'm not gonna admit.
That new haircut.
I am Yolanda Lawson. I represent ASME Council 63, Locals 2302 and 3408. We came here this evening due to the lack of communications that's going on between us and the county as far as getting dates to meet to discuss hazard pay, the American Recovery Plan, as well as some issues with mold in the building. Each one of the commissioners has a folder with pictures of the mold in the building and other correspondence between myself, Mr. Del Rosso, and the HR department of Atlantic County. We haven't gotten nowhere with getting dates to meet to discuss hazard pay for all essential workers, and they have all been deemed essential. And they worked tirelessly throughout the pandemic and have got nothing to show for it. I had one of my shop stewards say to me the other day, they didn't even offer us a glass of water. And that's not right. So we're coming to you as a last resort because we're getting nowhere with them. And as you can see, we have several members that are very passionate about this. We have CNAs, we have nurses, we have Atlantic County Health and Welfare workers, all gamuts of emergency, medical, and essential workers. And we don't understand why we couldn't even get a date. And we also don't understand why the mold has not been addressed. OSHA has been informed. They have not come to the building to do any inspections in person. They rely on pictures coming back to them from the county once they do a paint job or whatever, or move a tile. But as you can see from those pictures, that mold is still there today. Some of those pictures were just taken today. And I contacted Mr. Del Rosso on July 30th via email with copies of those pictures. And today, September 7th, nothing has been done. We have people that work in that environment. They're breathing that in every day. Yet they still come to work. Yet they still have they might have medical issues themselves that they develop from going to work. And we've gotten nowhere. And that's why we're here today. We need somebody to address us, give us a date, something. And we don't understand why OSHA will not physically come to the building. And we have two locations for Atlantic County Health and Welfare. Atlantic City location and the Northfield location that has visible mold. And that's what we're
Okay,
here.
so I am gonna ask Mr. DeRosa, but we're not gonna have a back and forth, but if you'd like to make a couple comments, and we could also look into it further if we need to.
With respect to POs, I mean, we've submitted to POs, everything that they've submitted to us, we think we remediated, we submitted it to them. The last three, I guess it's four now, we've had POs agree to what we submitted to them. What we think we remediated, we submitted to them, they've approved it. They should have those records because I think I include them on my responses, and I know that POs respond to them as well. I've not seen this most recent thing, so I can't answer that. So if I get a copy of those before I leave,
sent it to you
I'll
on
take them.
on July
Just let
30th.
him talk, man, just let him keep talking.
No, well, if they're the same things, then we've remediated everything, and I can't tell you what we haven't remediated. So if you're telling me they still exist, I can't answer that. The most recent one, I spoke with the young lady, her name is Petrangeli. She said to me today that the last one that we have up there for the county office building, they'll respond to me this week, and you'll get that, and you'll know as well as I do what that is. The last one, if you remember, was the fact that the county lost its chiller. You guys have probably already heard that. You heard that we're replacing it. We needed an emergency resolution, as you remember, to have that installed. I mean, we responded. I sent it to the state. That's what we're waiting for. The one immediately after that was over at Shoreview. They had several complaints about Shoreview. We think we remediated that. We've submitted all the paperwork to the POs. The young lady that I deal with, her name is, again, Leanne. And Leanne told me that they're reviewing them and they'll get back with recommendations. So again, I can't answer that one as well. Although we think we've remediated everything. Anything that had a leak or where a window was left open and it rained in the window, we've taken care of whatever that the leak was. I don't know what else to say. We've done everything we think we could do in terms of remediation. Either the HVAC, anything that they thought was mold, I think we replaced, removed it, or we are in the process of having a contractor come in to do the remediation.
Can you look at this picture, Jen?
Yes, sure. That's not deep, but see, that's a, see that right here, that's lead in the water, that's not a, that's.
There is mold here,
Yeah.
Jerry, and this is taken today. And this young lady works in that department. She
I'm
just took
only
this
telling
picture
you, I'll tell you what I'll do. You just give me your name and I'll ask facilities to come over, you show them that, nobody, I bet you they could probably review that in. It's just, there was a leak and it's,
You gotta come up with baking soda.
pardon?
You gotta come up with baking soda and water.
Yeah, go ahead, Commissioner.
You have a question?
Yeah, I do. Did you find that there was an increase or was there a bloom of mold when the chiller went out and the air conditioning was off for a few days?
No, we,
And it was
no,
like
no.
100 degrees?
No, because that's not what happened. I mean, you'll hear it different, but I can tell you exactly what happened. Wednesday was the lightning strike. The chiller apparently was affected by the lightning strike. Actually, it was the computer boards. Those computer boards are no longer being made. So what happens is you have Wednesday night into Thursday. When we came in Thursday, there was really no temperature drop because it was kind of, I don't know if you remember, it was kind of cold outside. And as the day went on, it really never got higher than 7. So the building never really cooled off, warmed up. It was Friday when it warmed up. We brought in, conditioners, things like that, to do whatever we could do. As the day went on, it got warm, we let everybody go home somewhere around 2:30, 3 o'clock. The chill, I think, came in the following Tuesday. During that time, obviously, we did whatever we were required to do in the building, shutting dampers, keeping the outside air from coming in because it heated up over the weekend. So from Friday afternoon probably to Monday, all the dampers were closed in the building. I mean, I don't know what else to say. That's what was recommended. We had a company explain it to us. So when they came in on Tuesday, oh, by the way, in the meantime, the company installed the piping. So the chiller itself is an extremely large chiller. It sits in the back of our building. It's larger than the one we have on top of the roof. 300 tons, I think ours is at 200 tons. So what happens is you now need to get the water to where it has to be, which is upstairs. So we have to run all the pipes. All the pipes are installed in the stairwell, and they're all insulated. And I'm only telling you, since that time we first went on, which was probably, I guess it was either Tuesday evening or Wednesday morning, it's been, I would say, where it should be. The only issue with this is now we've got to regulate it. So for the first, I'd say 2 or 3 days, which would have been like that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, they were regulating. It chilled the building off, obviously, but there was some issues because we were playing with the dampers, very hot outside. So you had some humidity issues in there. So we played with that to regulate humidity.
So
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
saying Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Yeah.
What were the dates? I don't remember. Do you remember?
Off the top of my head, no.
But
No.
July, June,
Oh, no, it's just.
August?
No, it's just
It was July.
Yeah, just released.
July?
We've had the chiller on, since that time. Now, I think one of the issues is that had that held off for 45 days, we had a bid, you guys bid, you remember the bid, brand new chiller, brand new heating units. So that's I think 3 of our heating units have been removed. They've ordered a brand new chiller, so that's what we're waiting for, the brand new chiller to come in. Once the new chiller is in, it won't be installed probably until the winter because as you know, the heating is first, and then you'll have once the heating is on, then we can install the chillers. That's where it is. Now, by the way, that whole plan was submitted. Everything that I just said, but all the details were submitted to POs. I mean, they have all those plans from us, the bid specifications as well as what the installation dates are going to be.
I think what I'm hearing is that you're doing your process and submitting paperwork to the oversight organization, and what the staff wants is communication between you and them.
Well, they've been communicating, my understanding is they've been communicating with Liz Dancona. Liz is our human resource director. They're not dealing with me. Liz comes to me and asks me what we're doing. Her boss is Diana Vitale. They're getting the same information. Once I get it, they're getting that information. So I'm not sure, that's been, Liz comes to me, Liz talks to me about
Well, it seems
these
like
issues,
there's
there's
a
a way to
break.
explain it.
Seems like there's a break.
Well, can I ask Jerry, why haven't you given us a date to sit down and talk about this hazard pay for essential workers?
I'll tell you what, you call me tomorrow, I'll call you tomorrow, I'll get you a date tomorrow, is that fair?
Well, I guess we had to come here to get that, just that,
Well,
right?
I don't know about that. Liz came to me 4 or 5 times and
Right,
said,
exactly,
and I said to Liz, just whatever date you want. The big issue, I want to be real clear on this, is that it may not change anything. I want you to know that that's what I keep telling, Liz. So the issue is hazardous pay. So the American Rescue Plan allows for, the CARES Act allows for hazard pay. When COVID first started, roughly March 15th. So between March 15th and around June 15th, June 20th, counties were told through civil service, the state personnel, that we could, if we all agreed, to allow people to flex hours. It wouldn't affect any of their benefits, it wouldn't affect, pension, health, all those issues, because when you're not working, some of those things come into play. So we allowed officers to flex their hours. So there's another union here, CWA. So I did it for CWA, I haven't done it for ASME yet because there's a lot more people. But on average, the CWA from what is considered Department of Family and Community Development, roughly we're off out of that period 50% of the time. So they got paid roughly $5,000 per person for not working. So when they came to us and said, we'd like you to give us hazardous pay, we said, well, you already. No, I got you, actually, I got you. So actually, and I'm gonna just give you a rough number. They work 35 hours a week. Roughly, I'm giving you 13 to 14 weeks. So figure 6, let's use 6, say it's 13. So on average, the average ASME worker was off 35 hours a week, 6 weeks, 6 times 35, 210 hours. Let's use a number of $20 an hour. How much is that? $20 an hour times, let's say 200, that's $4,000. So they all made $4,000 not having to come to work. We thought that was, when you're talking about recognizing employees and everything, so we think $4,000 is pretty good, not having to work. And that's across county government. I'm not pointing them out. ASME, you go through, we have 23 units. All 23 units. The only units that work full-time, with a nursing home, 3408, and the jail. And the jail has a series of unions. But the key union was FOP 34 because they call them correction police, but correction officers and those things. And we made the decision, that we're not going to pay premium pay based on the fact that we let people off during that period. That's really the essence of the conversations.
So you said you were gonna have a conversation with Liz and,
Well, actually, to tell you the truth, I think I saw Tom. I wrote Tom. I owed him. He had written me a couple of weeks ago, and there were a few things going on that I needed to do. So I went through all his personnel in 2 of his units, and I gave him what they made, just so they understood. He thinks I don't understand what premium pay or hazardous pay is. I understand it very well, and I've had conversations with my peers in other counties. So I was just on a call probably 4 weeks ago. 17 of us were on the call. Of the 17 of us, 14 of us were not paying premium pay. One had paid it during the CARES funding. The other 2 paid it, a more recent vintage, not using American Rescue Plan, but they decided to pay it. So there's 14, at least 14 that showed up at the meeting, agreed that we were not going to pay. But we were all using the same, logic. There was that time period where you didn't have to come to work. There's other issues. Some people in the county government were allowed to work from home, and then there was that whole issue, you were allowed childcare not to have to come to work. So there was a lot of stuff going on at the time, and obviously we allowed that. And then we made all the provisions in all of our buildings, that was the other issue. We made all the provisions in the buildings to do things like this, putting in the lexicon or, plastic, moving desks so we could social distance. I mean, we try to do all the appropriate things.
Commissioner Ballas, I saw you raise your hand now.
Yeah, it was just, we were given pictures
Yeah.
and you said some of these were taken today.
Right.
And I know you did, I don't know if you afforded Jerry with pictures.
He has the pictures already.
Does he have the ones that were taken today?
I'll give
If
him
we're gonna
that.
talk about it,
He's taken today.
if there's something that was taken today, let's just talk about
This
that.
is the one he tried to brush over and said it's nothing.
No, I didn't say it was nothing. I told you that I've had our.
Right, that's something
the one.
that's something you said you'll get addressed.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've talked to Jerry about this.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen this. I mean, Jerry was saying,
Okay.
he's been there. I mean, I'm talking about Jerry Griffin, who's our facilities
Yeah,
director.
I know exactly what you're talking
That's what that is.
Yep.
But again, I mean.
Is there any
And
other
I've
ones?
submitted, by the way, these have all been submitted to TIOSH. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
There's two of these, you want one, Jerry? There's two in the package.
That's fine.
You want one to show?
That's fine.
Is there any other ones that were taken today that need to be
No,
addressed?
those are all from, a couple.
So he has already reviewed
Yes, he
them,
has those already.
and is there any of these that have not been addressed and cleaned up?
All of it,
All of this,
right,
all of this remains the same?
correct.
Yeah,
So I don't know what he's.
You have them, Jerry?
the one on top, I don't.
Some are fans, I'm
Okay.
not sure the relevance of these. Yeah, that,
Jerry, you spoke about, the hazard pay for Meadowview. They never missed a beat.
Never.
They're working double
Right.
shifts.
Yeah.
They're short-staffed, no help.
Yeah, and I gotta be on several units, we public health is hiring what they call a guardian master, something to that effect. Anyway, we've agreed that we would have that person go to FEMA to get reimbursement for the extra hours that people work. So that's what we were gonna do for public health and the jail, and there was one other unit that we were gonna have them work on. So that was the plan. So public health is definitely on our sites. They, just so you know, in public health, and they're represented by Tom Fagan too, CWA.
No,
Yes, right, yeah, they meet certain conditions under FEMA. So you can apply for FEMA, ASHI doesn't meet those conditions under FEMA statutes. But under FEMA statutes, public health, emergency, public safety, they all meet those requirements. And they all worked extra hours, and so we agreed that we would have this person go through and file all of, and we have, by the way, we did all the payrolls. So you're sitting in my office waiting for this person to start, and when I hand the person all that material to apply for all the extra hours that public health and public safety had worked. So that's what we were doing with those units.
So when were you gonna tell us?
Well, you don't meet those criteria.
The CNAs and the nurses
Oh,
don't meet that criteria?
Well, that's it, I mean, yeah, I'm not talking about, when you're here, you're talking about it, both ASMEs, right? So 3408 is in there. Well, I discussed that with Patty Diamond when she was here, so I mean, that was.
That's not discussing with us.
Well, I can't answer, let me say this, Dave. If you're gonna sit here and tell me that my job is that every time somebody has a problem in county government, that it's gonna be me talking to them, I'll never get a job done. I have people that technically work for me. When they come to me, they're our department heads. When I talk to the department heads, the deputy department heads, the division directors, my assumption is they're going back and telling everybody. I cannot answer every single thing that everybody wants done at the time they want it done. So I'm merely telling you, that was the plan. The person is being hired. I think they have a name. I think they did all the interviews. That person will come on board. The first job would be to go and look at public health issues and apply for all the extra hours that the people applied, that they worked. And that my understanding is that we have the payrolls and we're prepared to put them into the appropriate FEMA forms and then submit them to FEMA for the reimbursement.
So then you said you think, do you know when this is gonna happen?
I would probably tell you, I go in tomorrow and ask, was the person hired yet? That's all. I don't know what else to say. Yeah. And that's the other thing. We hire people, people are leaving. So if you're asking me, to my job now is to find out every time there's a vacant position, somebody comes in and when they start, I gotta tell you, that's physically impossible.
Well, I
You
think
can't
the
do that.
job is to
Right,
service the members that work for the.
Well, yeah, and I do. And then who do you deal with? You're dealing with Liz. She's our human resources director.
She tells us she can't do anything without you.
Right.
That's why we're
All right, so
here.
there needs to be a conversation. Jerry will go in and discuss
Yeah,
what he
well, we're gonna
needs to
talk
with
more.
Liz.
You want a date. You and I have talked.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and thank you for that, Jerry. Commissioner Bertino, did you have something you wanted to say?
Just one quick question, Jerry, as part of what we're doing with the upgrades to the heating and air, is there any, do we have any plans to do an air quality testing in the facility?
Well, we do. We
Or
bring
do we
in,
do it periodically already?
there's a company that comes in called Brinkerhoff. So recently, so like this one right here. So Brinkerhoff supposedly has come in. This, I believe this is SureView. And so Brinkerhoff was in there. So you
So
can't,
they are monitoring is what I'm
yeah, you can't touch anything when they come in. They gotta
Right.
come in, they gotta look at it and whatever else, and then tell us what's wrong, and they make recommendations as to what they want us to do. So they've been there. We're just waiting for their final report.
Good. I just wanted to make sure we are doing that as part of just your due diligence with some of that. Very good.
So,
Thank you.
Madam Chair, we meet in 2 weeks. Jerry, do you think it would be fair at our next meeting that you could tell us of the things that are, photographed, what either has happened or been resolved, or the plan for these items at the very least? And then can you also just provide us an email tomorrow to let us know that a meeting has been scheduled, so that we just know that that issue has also been resolved as well?
I don't have a problem, yeah.
Okay, we'll look forward to that email.
Thank you, Jerry. And
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you for bringing it to our
guys.
attention.
Yes, thanks for bringing it.
Thank you.
And thank you for sitting through our long.
I know.
meeting.
I enjoyed it.
Hopefully you got something
I
else.
enjoyed it.
Anybody else on the note? Have any comment?
Do we have any other,
We're still meeting, guys. We're still meeting.
do we have anything
Michelle?
else? Do we have any other comments from the public with any issues whatsoever?
Can I just comment on?
Oh, your name and,
Go up here and say your name.
Sorry,
your
my
name and where you
Sorry,
reside.
I don't want to come up front.
It's okay.
Come on to the front of the
My
classroom.
name? Yes.
Name and where you reside.
Where do I live?
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, my name is Linda, and I live in Pleasantville, New Jersey. I just want to say that I work back at the nursing home. 24 hours. We were never off. We had to work in COVID. To this day, we are still in COVID. We have COVID cases. So I just wanted to make it clear that we were never off. We worked, we came to work scared to death, terrified, scared we was gonna take it home, but we did it and we still there because we have to take care of the seniors of Atlantic County. That's all I wanted to say was, we work, and I mean, we still scared, like, but we put our protective gear on and we go in every day and we take care of these residents.
Thank you.
And
That's all
thank
I
you.
want.
Thank you for what you
taking
do for
care
our
of
residents.
The seniors,
Thank
as well as our veterans who are there. Do I have somebody else?
Good evening, my name is Sophia Kent Howerton. I represent Local 331 Teamsters. I am from Atlanta, New Jersey, and I work upstairs in public health. Hello, Jerry. So as I said, I work in public health. I am here to discuss hazard pay. I'm not gonna get into full detail, but what I will say is that public health, this building, right here, upstairs, we are essential employees. Now, I know everybody else did their part because everybody in the county was considered essential employees, okay? Testing, okay? Running to get food, volunteers, coming in this building every single solitary day. We didn't have no alternate shift. My unit is of 5 people. Community health, which were the nurses, our aides that make $24,000 and $25,000 a year, that worked for 5 to 6 years or more, they had to go out this building and actually have to go to COVID patients and drop off thermometers, okay? It was a mess with that. Then our environmental unit, which I believe Jerry said he spoke of, that he has discussed something with maybe their union or whomever to get hazard pay. Well, I work for public health. Patty Diamond worked right underneath of her. Ben Mouth, division director, I worked right underneath of him. They never mentioned anything to us about hazard pay. They didn't say anything. Now, I know I did notes and I wrote everything that we used, but if it wasn't for us coming in this building every day, testing wouldn't have got done. Okay, volunteers wouldn't have came out. The Mega Center, we help assist that and we're still helping to assist it. We would be up in here all night long. My unit, which is of 4 people, not talking about community health, but they went through the agony because nobody could explain to them if they should be working, if they shouldn't be working. But because they were nurses and they had to go out there and do what they had to do, make $24,000 and $25,000 a year, okay? No hazard pay for them. But again, my unit of 4 people, we would be up here 7 and 8 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, working on the weekends, getting up at 7, 8 in the morning, making sure the testing site. If we did not do what we need to do in environmental, there wouldn't have been no testing in Atlanta County. There would have not been, okay? Not one thank you, not one, not one, not one. Volunteers that we had come out, that were elderly, that we could get to come out. I can't even, not one thank you, not one thank you. I can't even give them a gift card. I can't even send them anything. You know, even though people can say that, yeah, we did this, we did that. No, that's not good enough. It's not good enough. We were in a freaking, I get emotional about this because I know many nights me and my unit was up there crying, arguing, trying to pull it together because things were, excuse my language, off the hook. And Jerry, I know you know. I know everybody in this building know. I know the COB know because everything was unknown, what to do. You know, we don't know what to do or how to do it, but guess what? We made it happen. We made it happen, and we get no recognition. And I know it's hazard pay. I think we deserve, I haven't heard anything about hazard pay, but I know that we should be receiving some form of hazard pay. I don't want to hear anything about we worked over, we got paid overtime. That is not premium pay. That's just regular pay for working over. That is not anything for risking our lives. And I know about essential employees. I know what I signed up for. I know the trainings I've had. And I know what my job is and what to do. But we couldn't catch a break from administration or anybody else. It was do the job, get it done, make it happen. That's it. Not one person came upstairs and said, I haven't heard a thank you yet.
Well, we thank you.
Thank you.
We thank you.
Thank you for thanking us. You know, and I have people that want to come down here, but they're concerned. They don't, you know, they're management. They're not union. I'm even speaking for people that are non-management. You know, but I'm just saying that you had Meadowview working, you had environmental working. People said that we couldn't stagger our shifts. Everybody, when I tell you in this building, including these ladies, the freeholders, I'm sorry, commissioners, the ladies, they even was getting calls and answering phones. Everybody in this building. We don't deserve hazard pay. This is something that we never even thought that would even happen. The whole world shut down. The whole world shut down, but we all had to come here and work. We all had to come here and work. And it was because of us, Atlanta County looks good. It's because of us, Atlanta County looks good. Atlanta Care may be our partners, but we give direction. We give direction, Jerry. And I respect you. I'm just saying, Jerry. We deserve hazard pay. So if it can be done, if it's there, and you don't even have to give me a response, it's not even needed. I know it's there. Please do the right thing by us. Please.
Okay, so I do want to say, I do want to say we do have a 3-minute time frame. So we're going to have to invoke that. So please, if anyone's coming up, don't repeat things that have already been said. we would greatly appreciate that. But at the same time, I also want to say, this is not all Jerry. Jerry is here. He's been trying to answer your questions. All these decisions are not made solely by Jerry, so I appreciate any respect given to him as well. Okay. Does anybody else have anything that they want to come up and say?
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm William McLean, and I work in Atlantic City. And I just want to say, we've all been going through this 18, 17 months or so, The gist of this whole meeting is like to get everybody's awareness. We've been going through it. It was not our choice when the COVID hit to work. What was it, 3.5 or 5 days, and then split to 5 on, 5 off. I would have came to work every day through this thing. Didn't get sick, worried about everybody, and I just want y'all to know, this is heavy circumstances, and let's hope we can rectify it. Okay? I really do, because this is serious. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to say anything? We appreciate you being here and, your concerns. Does anybody else want to say anything? Okay.
Eileen Davis, Meadowview Nursing Home. I just wanted to ask a question is, like when a lot of our members at the job, they got COVID, what do y'all do for the ones that don't come back? Nobody called them, asked them how they was doing. Now, I guess they on disability now. A lot of them don't come back to work. They hurt real bad. Some got blood clots, legs amputated, all that. Nobody says anything about them anymore. The job don't call them, don't say how you doing, none of that. When we on the floor working, 1 person to 20 residents. And it's still going on today. We got I think now the state law, they broke it down, day shift 8, swing shift 10. We still doing 15 and 20 people. But I just want to know what happens to the ones who don't make it back to work.
I gotta be very honest with you. You're telling me that you haven't come back to work. I don't know that.
No, it's some of the employees there. They don't come back to work. They don't make it back.
COVID disabled them.
They caught COVID and they not back.
And they never be the same.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry, I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
Why are you looking to FEMA for some of this money? Why not just use the CARES Act money?
Oh, it's not the CARES Act money. It's not the CARES Act money anymore. It's the American Rescue Plan. Oh, because the FEMA money actually says you can pay for those hours for certain units. So we're trying to do those units and based on the law. I mean, that's what we're trying to do.
We got
But
this
what
letter
happens to the
today
ones
from
that
the
don't come back?
FOP number
just
34 that we were just
interrupt.
talking about.
Yeah.
And they're talking about using the American Rescue Plan Act for hazard money for the police union. So why not? Why not?
Because we think we'd rather use the FEMA money. We have an opportunity to get it.
And how long will that take?
You make your application, then the issue is just submitting the payroll.
My point is that you have the American Rescue money, right? You don't have the FEMA Act money yet, right? Because
We're
you're
gonna make an
applying for it.
application for it.
Right. It
Commissioner?
seems like expedience would be helpful
Yes.
here.
Madam Chair, I don't want to interject myself too far, but I do know there are distinctions between who you can pay for certain things, if at all, under the American Rescue Plan versus CARE. So there are distinctions there that you do need to look at, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't think it's as simple as everybody. I know there's pretty careful definitions in there, but I'll just leave it at that to think about however you talk moving forward. It's certainly not easy, and I'll leave it at that.
And again, I just want to say, some of this information Jerry can get back to us on, as Commissioner Gatto had recommended, which was a good idea. I'm not putting Jerry, we understand you have to go back, you got to get information. you said you report back and, you know, that's, you know, what we're hearing right now. I'm sorry, ma'am, did you have something else you wanted to say?
I'll do 3 minutes.
Sure.
I am familiar with the CARES Act and the FEMA money. So from my understanding, and you're correct, it does give specific rules and regulations how it should be used. And it specifically says essential workers, premium pay.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
No, no,
I was
I'm
just
not, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just telling you from the knowledge that that I'm aware of. So it is correct, it is very specific, but it does have in there, the CARES Act does have hazard pay for essential workers. It tells exactly who should get it and who should not. And it's real clear, very clear, so please review it.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody else want to say anything? Yep.
Name's Evan Fauleroy, Human Services worker in Atlantic County here. All right. Just out of curiosity, as Atlantic County is known to be one of the lowest paid salary workers everywhere throughout Atlantic County, why is it so hard to fight for something like hazard pay where we're risking our lives? That should be one of the easiest things to oblige to and give up.
So as I said before, probably the average worker made $4,000 not coming to work. I'm just saying to you, so I'm making my argument to you. So you got, I know your name. So I'll go and I'll call you tomorrow and tell you how much you made during that time period, okay? So I know who you are. I'm just saying to you, that's what we did. We thought we were being somewhat fair. I mean, we didn't have to. I mean, the gentleman said they would come every day. And I'm assuming we could have made everybody come every day, and if you didn't come, whatever. We wouldn't have done that, and we didn't do that. We followed what the state said we could do, which we thought was pretty equitable. That was to give people time off. So my point of view is, out of roughly 13, 14 weeks, everybody got 6 to 7 weeks off with pay. We don't. Wait.
It's correct. This time and time again. Right. But expediency, as one of the commissioners has just referred to, we're still waiting. We're still waiting for a direct answer. We're still waiting for something to happen. We're still waiting for money to happen. We're not waiting for you to push time on us again and again and again, saying, I have to speak to somebody else about this.
I'm not speaking to anybody else, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, I'll call you tomorrow and tell you how much you made without having to come to
I
work.
don't need a phone number, I need a paycheck in my bank.
Okay. Well.
All right. Something else to just consider as a county as a whole, not just you, all right? This is the county, all right? How would the county expect to balance this COVID fear as a whole, all right, for those who refuse to get a vaccination shot, all right, versus those who are already vaccinated and unsure how long it will last, and the freedom for those who are vaccinated to trust in that medicine without being urged to limit their comfort for the comfort of the minority. Otherwise, meaning those who are working under the vaccination and those who are not vaccinated moving within the same building space. What are we going to do with masks? Are they going to mandate it again? Or are you going to say those who are vaccinated can just be free to, do what they choose? How are we going to cover that?
Well, so on a wager basis, we do have a plan. That plan will be revealed in the next week or so. So I'm only telling you, well, we're gonna meet with all the unions first, and then we'll have our discussions with the unions, obviously, because they represent you. Once we meet with them, get their input, then we'll proceed forward.
Great, because again, expediency is the thing that concerns me most, as we have COVID cases available, and we have people who are vaccinated who can still get the COVID, and they're just as concerned.
Just so you know, what I've noticed, we just so you know, in the county office, we all wear our masks all the time. For the most part. If you're in your office or you're socially distanced, we don't wear masks. But I can tell you, if I go to somebody's office or walk through the building, I always have my mask on. I'm telling you. So that should give you a hint as to what's coming. If I'm going to do it, then I would expect everybody else to be doing the same identical thing. Now, we follow, as you know, the policy that the state had given us, again, sometime June 15th, somewhere in there. where if you were vaccinated, and this was before they thought the variant was pretty, as you know, pretty virulent. You could show your supervisor that you were vaccinated, show the card, and you didn't have to wear the mask. A lot of those people are now wearing the mask again because they thought the variant. So I think at some point in time, it's going to behoove the county. We're going to discuss with all the union. For example, Miss Lawson will be on that call to determine what we need to do going forward. We're going to have those conversations. And I agree with you 100%. I think right now we felt the variant is proving to be very virulent, and we need to protect employees. It's just, you just can't, it's hard to explain this because with 1,700 people, 23 unions, to stop what we're doing overnight. We've come up with a plan, we're going to present it to the unions. Hopefully, they will agree. If they disagree, then they're going to tell us what they agreed to, and then we'll make sure that the employees get that immediately.
My biggest ask with all that is the clarity to the employees that it gets expediently or quickly put down through management to the supervisors and to the employees so that we have an understanding as to what the policy is. So that if we have any questions, we can refer back to whom we need to and get the things going. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And just to that end, on your point,
yes.
Because there does seem to be some disconnect in communication somewhere. If we're passing down a new policy, maybe we have to do some kind of sign off that they received it, it was trickled down, it was communicated down. Maybe we need to do that just to make sure that you all are getting the information as it's being told to the management to go down.
Even a return receipt, you can do that even a return receipt by email, that somebody opened it when they get it to them, so they can't say I never got it.
Yeah, at my work, we have to do an online attestation,
so it's already in place there.
There you go, it's already in place.
Yeah.
Just a matter of using it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Did you want to say something?
I did. My name's Jacqueline Farmer from Summers Point, and I'd like to say that I'm a proud Atlantic County employee who works at the Atlantic County office building in Atlantic City, New Jersey. I am proud of the work that we did there, making sure that the residents of Atlantic County, those who lost their jobs due to COVID, those who had to stay home with their children and didn't know where their paycheck was coming from, employees of the county who had to now apply for the benefits that they were to provide for other Atlantic County residents. I'm proud of that work that we did. We were there every day, Jerry. You and I have had this conversation. My question to you is where was the humanity? We were asked every day to come into work. We signed our contracts as employees of Atlantic County, knowing what we were up against, but we've never seen anything like this before. And as I told you before, when you and I met, I said, all it would have taken, I wouldn't care if it came across the PA. We look for information from our administration. We look for direction. We hadn't. The information we received, we got secondhand. The families of Atlantic County, 40,000 of them on the SNAP program, relied on us. For a person like myself, who doesn't even work in SNAP, I have no knowledge of TANF. I have no knowledge of EA or anything. I put my hand to the plow to help and make sure that my brothers and sisters in this county were taken care of. I sat day after day and I listened to grown men cry because they couldn't provide for their families. I came in every day, not knowing that those days that you gave us off, like you said, the $4,000, the 16, 17 weeks off that we had, I didn't know that that's what the hazard pay was. I was doing as I was directed. Okay? I was following instructions. All right? We asked for hazard pay because it's there for us.
Yeah, that's right.
We took care. Who takes care of us? Who was looking out for us? As I said to you, Jerry, I said all it would have taken from you was a simple hello. No one asked me how I was doing. I wasn't doing well. If you had asked me, I would have told you I wasn't doing well. Okay? But it didn't matter. Or it seemed like it didn't. Please forgive me if I seem presumptuous. It seemed like it didn't matter as long as I came in. But I just wanted you to know that my brothers and sisters and I, we begrudge no one anything. We were there to do our jobs on the front line in Atlantic City, in the county office building with COVID, okay? We were there. None of us shied away. We followed our obligations and we followed our hearts and we led with the humanity that God gave us. And so having to practically beg for money to show any type of appreciation, a little bit of appreciation would have gone a long way.
Piece of art.
A little bit of graciousness would have gone a long way. But the fact of the matter is, this is not too late because it still can. And that's why we're here, to let you know what's going on if you don't know. You know, many nights we went home tired. We went home afraid. And I don't know if you know, well, I'm sure you all know about Atlantic City. But many nights, you know, we didn't know what we were taking home to our families. We didn't know if we were going to be safe. But the fact that we continued to show up and service, as Ms. Baldwin said, and service the public, that let you know there was a higher calling there. So I just wanted everyone to know that, you know, my brothers and my sisters, I saw you. I was there with you. And I saw you. Thank you. And I'm sorry that I get emotional. It's not so much about a dollar as it is about caring, about showing, about understanding, and about having compassion. I think I told you, fear is what caused all of this. Disclosure. Even if you had said, and I quote, we don't know, we've never been here before in this situation, but as Atlantic County, we're gonna all get through this together. We've got you. It would have gone miles. It would have said millions. And so that's just what I wanted to say. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else want to make any comments or statements at this time? Okay, well, we do thank you for being here. And we will, you know, you will hear back, you know, from administration or from us. And it may take a few days. Jerry, you know, will look into it. He's a hard worker as well, but, you know, we will look into it. And thank you very much for showing up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I just want to real quickly, you know, since it has been a long meeting, just a reminder that September is National Suicide Prevention Month. It is a reminder for us all that not only this month, but throughout the year, to check in on your family, in on your neighbors, colleagues, and friends. Mental health is still, even today with the increased focus, carries a stigma. We have the opportunity to continue to shed light and to let people know that it's okay to say something and to ask for help or reach out to some people for their help. And it's also Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Anything else for the good of the order?
Happy Rosh Hashanah.
Happy Rosh Hashanah. Thank you very much. Commissioner, any other comment?
Just, you know, I think Edgar Township starts tomorrow. I think everyone in the county is back in school, so there'll be more students on skateboards and bikes and riding, and more parents taking them to school. There are more students because there was no virtual this year in school than there have been since March of 2020. So just, you know, keep an eye on the road and be safe. Drive.
Yep. Thank you for being there for the students too. Anything else for the good of the order? Okay, we'll have a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion made in second. All those in favor?
Aye.